Good morning, students. I hope you all are fine and safe at home. So, here I am with my lecture number 25 of Elementary Economics, class ninth. So, students, in this video, I am going to explain you chapter number 4, that is types of economies. I have completed almost 5 videos of this chapter, and those who haven't seen those videos yet, kindly first see that. And if you faces any problem in any of the topic, you can mention in the comment section. So in the previous video I have explained you, we have discussed the various types of economies. I have explained the meaning of developed economy, developing economy, and also the underdeveloped economy. We have also discussed some characteristics regarding the both. So in this chapter, in this video, we are going to cover the remaining topics of this chapter. Let's proceed to our topic number 1, that is features of a developing economy. The definition which we have already discussed in the previous video. So in this features we are going to discuss. First is gradual rise in the per capita income. In the developing, they are still being developed, means they are rising. The meaning of developing economy, which I have told in the previous video. Let's quickly revise. Developing economy means they are rising, but they are not rising to that expected level. That is developing economy. The first feature is gradual rise in the per capita income, means they are gradual, means slowly. So their per capita income is the individual income, this income of one individual, this income of all the individuals individually. So they are slowly rising, gradual rise in the per capita savings and capital formation. So slowly, a slow rise, a very slow growth rate is there in the capital formation and the per capita savings. Third one is gradual expansion of infrastructure sector. Infrastructure matlab buildings, roads, whatever construction facilities are there, that is being slowly developed in the developing countries. Fourth one is falling incidence of poverty, illiteracy, and gender discrimination. So all such type of comments are being reduced to a great level. So that is developing economy. That is not fully exhausted. That is not fully exhausted, but is slowly reducing to a great extent. That is the features of the developing economy. You can learn any 2 features out of 4, whichever you want. So coming to our next topic, that is there is a difference between developed economy and developing economy. So I have presented all the all the 7 features which are present in your book. So we are going to discuss all the 7 features, and you can learn any of the 5 features whichever you want. So first feature, developed economy, the meaning is already clear to you. The country which is being developed, which has a high standard of living and high per capita income. So in a developed economy, there is a high per capita income. The people is having the high per capita income. It means every individual is having a good amount of income. In a developing economy, they are having low per capita income, but uh, but it but it is increasing. It is not stagnant. It is not fixed. The income is being rose, but not to a great extent. Now second point is high level of domestic savings and investment. Domestic savings means personal income. Personal savings are, people are able to save much in a developed economy, and people are able to invest in various sectors in the developing economy because are earning to a great extent. But in developing economy, they have low savings, low domestic savings and low investment. Okay, but it is growing, it is growing to a certain level. Third one is most of the working people are engaged in the service sector and least of them are engaged in the primary sector. So in a developed economy, the basic characteristic is that they're engaged in the service sector, working in industries, factories, companies, businessmen. While in developing economy, most of the people are engaged in the primary sector. Primary sector can be agriculture sector, fishing, mining, quarrying. So all these type of activities or the business does not provide good amount of income as it provides in the service sector. But slowly and gradually there is a growth trend in the tertiary sector also in the developing countries. Fourth one is tertiary or the service sector contributes most to national output. In the developed economy, the major national output come from which sector? Tertiary sector. That is also called the service sector. While in developing economy, the national output, the major national output comes from the primary sector, that is agriculture sector. And but a major trend is being shown in the service sector, primary sector. It's not clearly written, but I have told you that major contribution comes from the primary sector. Fifth one is both economic and social infrastructure facilities remain adequate. So in a developed economy, proper balance is being maintained in the economic infrastructure also and social infrastructure also. In economic it will come like building of roads, dams, bridges, educational facilities. And social means looking after the health facilities, looking after uh, municipal facilities. So all such facilities which benefits society is being taken care of in a developed economy. While in developed economy, not a proper balance is being maintained in the infrastructural facilities, and but they're slowly showing gradual improvement over a time. Sixth one is high level of technological improvement in all the sectors. So in developed economy, a very high growth rate is shown, is being shown in the technology. This in terms of technology, they are being developed, they are being more developed than these developing countries. And developing economy, though the signs of technological backwardness remain present, but there is a clear indication of its gradual improvement. So they are not being so much advanced in terms of technology, but slowly and gradually they are being advancing themselves in terms of technology. And seven, there is a high standard of living for the people, for the average people, with low incidence of unemployment and poverty. So there is a high standard of living is there, and high standard of living is there, then unemployment is reduced and poverty is also reduced. So these are the features of the developed economy. And in developing economy, there is a low standard of living, higher incidence of unemployment and poverty, but there are chances, but there are signs for the improvement, for the gradual improvement. Gradual means slowly improvement. So these are the differences, or 7 differences I have told you, and you can learn any of the 5 differences whichever you feel easy to learn, as this topic is very much important. uh, so you have to learn the difference between developed economy and developing economy. Coming to our next topic, that is meaning of economic growth. So what is the meaning? This is the next important definition which you need to cover, that is meaning of economic growth. Now the term economic growth signifies the quantitative aspects of economic progress of the country. Measuring the progress of a country in the quantitative, matlab in the number terms, just in the number terms, that is known as economic growth. Economic growth means when we check the when we check the economic progress of a country in the quantitative aspects, or you can say in the number form, that is known as economic growth. Thus growth in the gross national output or per capita output is considered to be an output of the economic growth of a country. Now what is, you must be having a question that what is per capita output? Per capita output means the uh, how many producers are producing, or how many products one producer is producing how many type of products and services. So that is per capita output, and which is being calculated by this formula, which is very important to learn for you all. That is total output upon total population. So that is the formula of economic growth. We sum total of the total products and services produced in a country, and then we divide it by the total number of people present in the country, and by dividing, so we will get the per capita output. So economic growth is measured by the per capita output, which is a basic indicator. This is not the only one, but this is the most important indicator of measuring the economic growth. So I hope the meaning is clear to you. Economic growth means when we measure the progress of a country in the quantitative term, and per capita output is a basic indicator of measuring the economic growth. And after writing this, you can mention this formula also, which is equally important to write. So I hope the topic is clear to you. Coming to the last topic of this video, that is how to achieve economic growth. There are 4 steps given in your book. However, in the book it is given in the para form. So to make it very much easy and convenient for you, I have shortlisted that paragraph and converted them into following points. So you can achieve the economic growth of any country by following these points. First of all, to increase the total output. Total number of products and services produced in the country should be increased, so that a country can become a developed one. Means economic growth could be achieved. Next, to prevent the population growth, we should make ensure that the population growth is not rising to a great extent. It is obviously will rise, but it should not rise to a great level, beyond which we cannot control it. So we should make measures to prevent the population growth also. Third one is to achieve capital accumulation. We should make ensure that out of the total earnings, we should try to save the money also. We should not spend all the money in buying the goods and services. We should also, some amount we should spend, and some amount we should this is save. Some amount we should save also, and some amount we should do the expenditure also. So that is income. And for the saving that which is being done, we should also invest them in the various sectors, so that we could get more income, and thereby we help in creating the capital accumulation for achieving the economic growth in a country. And when the capital, when the people will invest either in the business, so obviously entrepreneurship will rise, because I have told you the meaning of entrepreneurship, that it is a process of when a company is being set up, the whole decisions, the whole activity is being managed by the entrepreneur, and the process is known as entrepreneurship. So when the capital accumulation will increase, obviously the role of entrepreneur also will rise, because entrepreneur also only manages the whole activities of setting up the business. So these are the 4 points which should be followed while making a country economically grow. To make a country grow, we should choose these points as an indicator and make the country's economic growth successful. So I hope the points are very much clear to you. I have made you easier and convenient for you, and you need not to study that paragraph. You can easily learn and remember these points. So this was the end of this video. I hope you have got all the topics which I have covered with you today. So in the next lecture of mine, I would be completing this chapter. Only few topics are left, and we would complete the remaining topics in my next lecture. So till then, be safe at home. Thank you for watching. Keep on revising, students, and have a nice day.